Hello and welcome back to Off the Donut. Today we are joined by Dalton from the Jolly Melancholy.
What's up?
So the Jolly Melancholy is an indie noise alternative emo band based out of Bear, Delaware. Formed in 2016. The project has put out multiple singles, as well as some smaller releases, as well as two full-length albums. The most recent of which, For a Moment There, I Thought I Lost It All, is now available for pre-order on 50 White Tapes on our website, which you can find in the description below, or at lonelybirdrecords.limitedrun.com. How you doing, Dalton?
I'm doing great. I'm just vibing here. How about you?
I'm trying to vibe too. All right, so as customary on the show, because because it is, we're doing the bev and the snack check. I got the water in not my high school water bottle, but a camp that I went to today, as well as a cookie from Chick-fil-A that I didn't realize we had until I walked downstairs to have some breakfast.
It's always amazing when you walk downstairs and it's like the food fairy came, you know?
Oh yeah, no, it's great.
But let me reach over. I got water in this giant ass marble.
That's sick as fuck.
It's like $8 at Walmart. That stuff's great. And then I got blackberries. I'm trying to eat a little healthier, trying to lose my COVID weight. So I'm like, fruits.
I haven't had broccoli, I think, in like months, man. And like I like broccoli. I like broccoli, but I haven't had it in like months. So I should probably get on that myself. So I guess we can go ahead and start with some of the questions. So the first one is a little bit more surface level. Where's the name Jolly Melancholy actually come from? Because I know you're a fan of the Smashing Pumpkins. That's the only.
I got the beanie.
Okay, that's the only thing I can think of in relation to it. Because I remember I was talking with Rob about it one day, and he's like, "I know where that's from," and I was like, "I don't." So now I feel left out.
All right. Yeah, because when we moved this piano, we were talking about it. It is like a Smashing Pumpkins reference. I also used to be, because I started this in high school. I was a big fan of Elliott Smith.
Okay.
And I liked that he wrote in ways of paradoxes, and I'm like, well, the Jolly Melancholy sounds like a paradox. You know, Melancholy and Infinite Sadness is my favorite album of all time. So I was like, let's mash the two together. And then the logo that I use, like that face is like, because I really like that Nirvana face kind of thing. And at the time I was even thinking like, I can use something like that, like the faces I know, so like really cool for marketability and whatnot. Like I can make like cool patches for myself or something, which I tried to do for a beanie. It's like incomplete somewhere. I did like the circle, then I quit because I was like, it's been 3 hours.
Were you like knitting that or sewing that yourself?
I bought a beanie from Spirit Halloween because it was a few Halloweens ago, and which happy Halloween, everyone.
Yeah, we're recording this on Halloween.
But no, I bought an embroidery kit from Joann's Fabrics, and I just starts like embroidering it. Like
you got halfway through it, you're like,
yeah,
okay.
I was like, oh, fuck that. But I got the face though, like the logo, because like when I was a kid, like this is like the weirdest thing ever. I used to be a really big fan of the Mario video games, like the little RPG games they make. And there's one game I played, and
I like the Mario and Luigi versus Bowser kind of thing.
Yeah. The inside story.
Yeah, dude, I played that. Great. I have like this very specific memory of playing that on a train. And I think that's the only time I've ever been on a train in my life. And I was like really? 6 or 7. Yeah.
Honestly, same. Because like we're in Italy and we were on like one of those subways. And I was playing it too. So we're like we like connected there.
Yeah.
Different parts of the world. But in one of the games when I played when I was like a little zygote, just a little I almost said embryo.
Yeah.
But I would play. It was called Superstar Saga, and the place there, and there was these faces that had like that look where it was like the circle and like an arch, and then like some kind of like almost like piano teeth, I'd call them as a kid. And I'm like, oh, I fucking love that. And I was like, I could form something out of it, and I was just kind of inspired to do that. So Jolly Melancholy is like
just kind of a mix of
like inspirations and like just things I like. Like the whole band is just things I like.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see that. No, that's sick. So from my understanding, the recent record, For a Moment There, That was recorded over a couple various sessions in the winter of 2019
Mm.
and 2020. Some being basement sessions with Ben from 2 Cents, right? Or was
No,
this
no,
this is a different Ben?
this is Ben was a guy I met on Band Mix.
Okay.
This is all good for me to release it. I asked him in advance. I said I'm gonna record this for a future record release because I don't know what happened to us. We played like he was all down for being a Jolly Melancholier, and um one day he just stopped texting me, and then I would keep trying to hit him up, like saying like, hey, like, are we gonna do any more practices and whatnot? And he just,
Oh, that sucks.
yeah, but this band was like much older. He was like almost like 30,
Okay.
and whatnot. I don't know if it was his like personal problems or something I said to him, because there was something I thought I might have said that might have put him off a little bit,
Mhm.
and I don't know, but yeah, that's what happened to him.
Okay. Yeah, so some of those sessions were basement jams with him.
Yeah.
Others were a couple demos that you recorded. Was
Yep.
there like a specific process in choosing the recordings that came out of those sessions to put on the album? Were there songs that got cut at all? Because I know that some of the
Yeah.
songs are different on the Bandcamp version of the album than the streaming version.
I like with the recording styles, or not the recording styles, more like the mastering styles. I like doing it a little different. So then, like, if you want to listen to the originals, you can go to Bandcamp and see everything in its originality or its original form before, like you said, songs. Yeah, that were cut, or because I think the original listing was like 10
Because
songs or something like that.
the first 5 songs are pretty much the same, and then after that, it starts. There's like some here and there. I think there's like a couple different titles
Yeah,
for stuff
yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of like if you want to see the original, go on there. Like from the first release, um, I've seen the beauty, the whole world condensed into one. That's all in its original, all its original scratches and dings and beauty and all that is on Bandcamp. And then I like what I did, especially with for a while there, or for a moment there, I remastered everything. Like the mixes are literally called Spotify
Yeah.
Master or something like that. And then I just put them up there, like, because some of them sounded like the track listing I noticed while listening to a lot on Bandcamp. It sounded like some of them kind of like one
Dipped in
song
and
was like
out.
loud, the next song could be a little quieter, and I'm like, well, I don't want people to keep mix like hiring and lowering their volume.
So
And
you
I'm
actually
like,
mastered it this time.
yeah,
Okay.
basically I use Studio One. If anyone out there likes hearing the process a little deeper, I use Studio One, and they give you a feature to put everything into a project, and you can master everything, get everything on the same like level.
That's helpful.
So I'm like, that's awesome. And then you can burn it to a CD, but I don't know where my CDs are, so because I don't do sadly I don't do the thing where like I have a friend who's in the band Dutchman. They're downstate Delaware. I gotta interview them sometime, shit. But they would like put the CDs in the car, all that stuff, and everyone tells me to do that, and I'm like, I'm just gonna. I don't have that access. I don't have the CDs.
Yeah. No.
But
When we were when the mixes for the Gravers Lane EP was getting done, I remember I didn't do it like intentionally, but I was driving to work one day and I think I had it on my phone and I was like, hey, let me see how this let me listen to this and see how it sounds in the car. And it was like kind of weird because it is like, it doesn't really seem like it, but it is a very different environment to like hear music in, especially because of that surround sound system that often encompasses it.
No, I completely see where I should have done that. Damn.
Well, in the future for the next one.
But yeah, we definitely got to talk about the next one later in the podcast.
Okay.
Like, I'm really excited to talk about
that. You're in the process. You're going to be recording that soon, right?
Yeah, Rob's helping me with the drums.
Yeah, we can get into that a little bit near the end. So on the Bandcamp page for the record, it says that most of the songs were recording off of a $4 tape player bought at a flea market. What was that like? What were you doing at the flea market? Like, how did you find this tape player? Was it love at first sight? Were you just like, oh my God, I need to record my album on this.
Yeah, no, exactly. I when I saw it, I was like, this is exactly what I'm looking for. I've always wanted to record off a tape player. It says it records, and you can just put tapes in there. I just can't remember what brand it was. It might have been a Tascam or something like that, like a really tiny guy. Um, I wish I had a picture, but I mean, I wish I still had it.
Oh,
I
what
don't know
happened
where
to
it
it?
went. It just disappeared. I took it with me. I mean, I already took all the songs off of there,
Hmm.
but there was some covers that I was thinking of putting on the Bandcamp.
What kind of what songs or
There
what bands?
was a Starry Cat cover.
Okay.
It was their song Starry Cat and an American Pleasure Club song, When You Split the Heart Open. I had
Okay.
both of those. They sounded really good, and I just lost it.
Damn.
It just vanished one day. I'm still looking for it, but yeah, it was a $4 tape recorder at a flea market in Wilmington on the waterfront. They had like it's just like last Halloween around this time. They had like a Halloween themed flea market
Okay.
where the baseball stadium is, and
Hmm.
I dropped off my girlfriend at work, and then I was like, oh, I want to do something, you know what? I don't want to go home and play video games or something like that. I did that last week, and I
Yeah.
was like, let's go to this flea market someone told me about, and I went there. It was like Halloweeny. It was witch themed, like a lot of Wiccan stuff, which I vibe with that really hard. I don't know if you can see my girlfriend's altar. Let me
That's
try
sick
to
as fuck.
adjust it a tiny bit. But yeah, it was really cool, and it was in just some kind of just some dude selling his like it was basically like his little whatever was in his garage,
Mhm.
just selling it.
And I've always kind of been confused as to how that works. How do you actually record off a tape player? Do you have to hook up a microphone to it, or you
No,
just put an empty tape in it,
mm-hmm.
or
You
okay,
just put an empty. I had a few empty tapes because I had an idea years ago to record demos on a tape, but I just couldn't find a. I was looking too big. I was looking for those Porta Studios, like those $200
hmm
4-track motherfuckers. And I was like, $4, like I can just record what I
yeah,
need on here, just acoustic little. Because admittedly, for a moment, there's more of a demo album. It's just songs that I want to really keep on working on. I mean,
hmm
and I liked how they sounded at the time being, and it's kind of like a, you know, here's what's just on my mind right now kind of thing. And
hmm
I just wish I could have recorded more off the tape player, had more ideas, but that's whatever.
okay, yeah. So then you just throw a tape. So I guess it has a built-in microphone
Yep.
to it. Okay,
Yeah, yeah. You just hit put an empty tape, hit record, or even a regular tape, and you just hit record, and then oh, my cat just jumped on me, and you just hit record, and hey Lola, say hi to everyone.
oh, she's a cutie.
She is a cutie, but she's a pain in my butt. That's what she is. Um, yeah, it was just like that. I just sat on my couch and then just got some ideas and whatnot and wrote them all down in I call it the Great Jolly Songbook or something like that. It's like a blue notebook. I just wrote on it, and it has all my little songs in there.
That's great. So the album varies in production style just as a whole, and which
Yeah.
we briefly touched on. Some of them are those more acoustic stuff.
Mhm.
With on that tape player we mentioned, there's also that ambient track, Beyond the Pearl Trees.
Yes. Yes.
Was there a specific like frame of reference you were coming from when you were deciding how to record the album? Because you mentioned it's sort of
Yes.
a demo oriented. Is there any like artistic vision type decisions you made to give it
Yes.
like a more or less cohesive feel?
Mhm. Yes, because I love this song. So like that was like I ever since the beginning I always planned that was going to be the last song because there's another song I listened to because I know we'll get into like recording a little bit and I'll expand a little bit more then. But I was listening to this one song. It's called Pale Branch Sycamore Trees by American Pleasure Club. It's a 9 minute, extremely droned out piano with like he's talking in the background. You can't really hear it, but you
You
can
can
look
hear
up
his
the lyrics.
voice.
You
Okay.
can hear his voice. It's like very, very soothing to me. For I don't know what it is. It just soothes me a lot.
Hmm.
And I was like, I want to really make a make a song like that where it's like very soothing to me, and it has some kind of poem in the background, and um it was almost like the first song planned for that album, just like the very first one. And oh my gosh, you're trying to bite me. Um, and I found like an old poem I wrote from like high school, and I was like, okay, I can use this. Like it was a full-fledged like steady stream of consciousness
Hmm.
from certain times in my life, and I just kind of went doo and just spoke them, and then did like I took a song previously released. It was my piano song from the last release. I'm trying to remember. It might have been, no, it was Deep in the Stomach of the Earth.
Okay.
I just expanded it a bit and I added a little some ambience to it to kind of drone it out a little bit. But yeah, what was the original question again? Sorry, I love that song so much.
No, it was great. This isn't the original question, but
Right.
where does that name come from? Beyond the Pale Trees.
Beyond, so I came up with, because like sometimes I'll like see certain things in my brain will like for some reason like be like, oh, this would be a cool song title or some
Yeah, no, I
and I have
totally
to write
get
it
that.
down.
Yeah.
I grew up in Bear, around like not too far off of by the St. George's Bridge, like the refineries and shit like that. Cleanest air around. I'm probably 80% sure I'm healthy from it. So there was a graveyard. There was a graveyard right out of my neighborhood that a friend of mine told me it was from the colonials, like the Swedish colonials that came way
Okay.
back when. And it's actually the same friend that was kind of like referenced in Graveyard Philiac. I had a friend that loved going to graveyards at night.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and I took a picture of it one day because when I was in high school, not in high school, when I first started in college, I tried writing an album. It was going to be called something along the lines of like The Devil's Gotten Into That Boy or something like that. Like it was some along the lines of that. I took a picture. I created a whole album cover, like album art. I still have it on my phone, but I always thought like the trails looked like they look so like bare and whatnot, like they look kind of pale. Then I like wrote a poem about like Beyond the Pale Trees, and that's kind of where it comes from. Lola, get down. All right, you're attacking my microphone now, get down. But that's where
that
from.
point where the cat's like getting a little bit too far. Okay, yeah, that's cool. The original question, it was just sort of about like with the production style throughout the album.
Yeah.
Was there like any sort of specific decisions in going into that?
Not really. I just kind of record for that release. I just recorded what kind of came to mind. If some of them I couldn't do on the tape. Well, actually, the real reason is I lost the tape, honestly. So I was like, I don't want to release like. I want to record more. I have more ideas that I feel like would couple really good with what I already recorded. So I was like, I'll just, the one weird, there was a hybrid song, 16. That's a hybrid one because the piano was recorded on it was recorded on the
tape.
The tape.
Okay.
And the vocals were recorded with a microphone into my direct interface, but I stood away and I like upped the gain to kind of give it that
same feel.
Give it that same feel, because I was like, oh, I wanted to like not sound too jarringly different.
I feel like it would be kind of like a weird difference to have that like sort of washed out piano and then have your voice be like right there,
up front, center, crystal clear. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think even if it wasn't intentional, I think, even just having, I mean, you said it yourself, like the record is very demo oriented, and I think it'll be cool, at least when a live setting is able to come back, to have something where like you have those songs more fleshed out, and that they're released, the online version of them is still sort of that like stripped down bareback like acoustic demo or just sort of just demo feel in general, and then being able to hear the more like fleshed out vibe of it live. I think that's always cool, and I think it's always cool just in general when artists I think I talked about this briefly with Rob last time, but I think it's always cool when artists add something to their songs live, because it gives it that much more value to the song.
Yeah.
And so I think that can be cool in that scenario.
And you can see some ideas that they have to like spin it too. Like I'm a big car seat headrest fan, and my girlfriend is too. She got me into it, admittedly, and thank you for that. she's in the other room, but we went to see them live, and their song "Sober to Death," they would live they would mix in a cover of Powderfinger by I forget who it is. I don't. Is it Neil Young? It might be Neil Young. I forget. But they mix in a cover because there's a breakdown in the song after the first chorus, or the second verse. I mean, after the second verse, there's a breakdown and it leads into the final chorus. And when they do that, they throw in this random cover that they just kind of pull in. But what I'm trying to say is, it is really cool seeing artists kind of like do their own spin on their songs.
Yeah.
When you see them live. Yeah.
Yeah. I when Pup put out their live album, I want to say in like April or something.
Yeah.
Just like the one weekend that it was out. I think it was out for a day, and I bought it at like 11:50 or something. Like I was like, throughout the entire day, I was like, do I want to get this? I want to get this. I don't know if I want to get this. I'm gonna get it. So because it's a really good album, and there's I forget what song it is, but one of them, I think it's Scorpion Hill. The end of that song in the recorded version is a little bit more slower. And on the live version, because I actually saw them on that tour, the tour that show was recorded at, and it reminded me of that song, that sort of like slower like fade out at the end. They extended a lot through it and sort of interacted with the crowd, which was super, super cool to hear, and it gives you like goosebumps in a lot of ways, just because like of the chords that they use are like super, super sweet. And it's just like, considering the band that Pup is, I feel like they're one of sort of the staples in punk and pop punk music at the moment.
I'd say so too. Yeah.
Just, kind of hearing that, just sort of more mellow, like rhythmic, just slow jamming is like, it was super sweet to hear. And it's really moving in a lot of ways too. But yeah, so I always thought that was cool.
So let me get this straight. Pup released a new record.
Okay, so they kind of. So that live album they put up on their Bandcamp for like a day. That was back in April. So it's not available anymore unless you already bought it. But they did put out This Place Sucks Ass, which was their new EP. Which
I love that.
Phenomenal. The cover art is even better. I've listened to the singles that they've put out for it, which are fucking great. I just haven't listened to the EP itself yet.
Okay.
But yeah, they did put out an EP. I think it was like last week actually too.
I'll have to listen to it because I saw a Pup song come up on my Spotify like release radar. I was like there are some other songs I want to listen to, but I was like shit, are they putting out new music? Because I haven't listened to Pup in a while. When you brought them up, I was like, oh shoot, I used to listen to them all the time. Like Pup's great. Like,
oh my god, they're
amazing
phenomenal musicians. Yeah, no, they The Dream Is Over is the first album that I heard from them, and I heard that in freshman year, like in like March-ish, and I think I like, because I saw that Finn Wolfhard was in the music video for Sleep in the Heat, and I was like, oh okay, and I listened to that song, I was like, this is kind of sick, and I listened to that album, and I bought the CD that night. And I just like had it on repeat for the rest of the week. They're fucking incredible. Like all of them are just super, super great musicians, and they like have a very distinct style as well. And it's cool. It's been cool to see that sort of progress over the years.
That's nice. I like, because you mentioned Finn Wolfhard. That guy's freaking great. He's like one of us. What? He's like one of us. He's just doing like, I see him in a lot of stuff that I really like seeing, like like his band was a Calpurnia, like from that to like being in a Pup music video to there's this YouTuber that I watched, and he was in his like TV show, he played like some random character or something like that. Like
He was
he's
in
like
a
everywhere.
he was in a couple Super Mega videos as well.
Yeah.
Those
I
were
saw those.
funny
I
as
saw
hell.
those.
Him and
I
his
love
brother.
Super Mega.
Yeah. But he's a great kid. I know he has another music project with
That's
one of
nice.
the yeah, because since Calpurnia ended, I think he's in another music project. I think with one of the other guys from that band.
Mm,
It might be someone else, but I don't remember. I don't remember the name of the group,
mm.
but I know he's doing like a two-piece thing right now.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I have one main question for you
Mm,
left, and that's sort of an obvious one. Is that you obviously take a lot of inspiration from Teen Suicide and American Pleasure Club. You
yes,
know
I
you've
get to
covered
nerd out.
yeah you've covered their stuff before. Your most listened to song on Spotify is your version of Haunt Me.
Yeah.
You can see the similarity in your song titles, just the length of them, as well as the album art with the white background and the pictures. Can you talk a little bit about what that band means to you, and how do you try to incorporate that adoration into your
Mm.
music?
So I first heard them by accident in high school. I used to be. I mean, nah, I say used to be. I don't listen that much anymore. I used to be a big the Frights fan,
Okay.
and they're I don't know if you heard. I don't know if you know them. They're almost like Fiddler,
Yeah.
like the same kind of vein as Fiddler. I think Fiddler even mixed their records, but or the singer from Fiddler, but um I just feel really connected to that to Teen Suicide's music for some reason. I like the plainness of the lyrics. Like sometimes that he would just talk about things like going to the grocery store or something like that. And I really like writing songs about just things that I do. You know, I'm starting to write more about feelings and whatnot, but more like I like like I don't know. I just thought the concrete like him like in his song Beneath the Cross, which is on like their bonus EP.
Mhm.
He would just talk about like buying coffee for his like girlfriend at the store and stuff like just stuff like I don't know why I just really liked stuff like that, and it made me feel like kind of connected in a weird way. And
Mhm.
all their music always connected me since I first heard their song Benzo in high school. I was like, holy shit, this is cool, like this stoner punk
Mhm.
noise type of music. It was phenomenal, and I really like the messages, like him talking about his like Sam Ray talking about his like heroin addiction and stuff
Yeah.
like that was
Yeah, that was a
really
big thing.
it was really interesting, and like just the bluntness about how he feels and whatnot was like really inspired me. And I'm a sucker for song titles, and the song titles always like really liked me. It was very whimsical to me for some reason,
Mhm.
and very
Like Dead
uh
Cat and
yeah
Cop Graveyard.
stuff like that. I remember I listened to a live show at some place in New York, and the guy he starts off by going, "This is a song about a mass grave filled with cops," and they just go right into it, and I was like, "Oh shit!" But yeah, I like how like speak of Dead Cat, I like how I can go to writing like really beautiful, like poetic kind of music, and then next thing you know, I was driving with the
Yeah,
girl.
Dead Cat
You know,
is Dead Cat is a it's an interesting one.
it is
Um
really interesting.
because it takes a turn, and it's like not
Mm,
what you're feeling, like it's not what you expect, because
yeah.
Teen Suicides has a lot of songs like that where it's just kind of like a brief interlude where he's got some sort of like some botchy
Exactly.
vocals in there, that's just like a small interlude. And so I remember
Mhm,
the first time I heard Dead Cat, I was like expecting it to just kind of be that, but
mhm,
then it just like cascades in with
mhm,
like all the melody in the background, and
mhm.
you go from this track where you're just like kind of expecting it to be like another one where you just like you don't really think about it, it's just part of the
Get into the
experience of the
next
album,
song.
into this just like beautiful like chorus of all these melodies and synths and sounds in the background, and you're just like,
Mhm.
oh my god, dude. And while he's still going like, I was driving with a girl,
Yeah.
saw a dead cat on the side of the, and you're just like, what the fuck? Like,
Mhm,
it's such a weird thing, but it's super cool.
mhm. It is, and then there's that other song later in the album that's like very similar, like the "I Will Be in My Own Hell," which is, but it starts off with that cascading kind of like that, like almost like a cacophony of like synths and like hi
Mhm.
hat rolls and stuff like that. Like almost, I mean, minus the hi hat rolls, but like with Dead Cat and whatnot. It is really interesting. Like The only thing I don't like about their album layouts they like doing, I like calling them layouts, is like they always have a really good penultimate song. Like in I Will Be My Own Hell, it was like the same things keep happening to me even in dreams, which is
Oh my
one
God,
of my favorite
dude,
songs of all time.
that's so fun to play on guitar. It's
It's
so
so
fucking
fun.
fun.
It is, and like just the lyrics too, of just him talking about like how like it almost like, to me listening to that, it's like almost like, hey, like I understand what you go through sometimes type of
Mhm.
song. You know what I mean? Like, like no one can really understand what you're going through, but like here's a song to like, because like even some of the lyrics is like, what is it like? He talks about he wants to die, and he's like, kind of like says like you'll never understand like that feeling and stuff. I like that it's very honest about
Yeah.
that kind of feeling, because admittedly, like when I get very depressed, I do tend to be a little bit selfish, like no one understands kind of thing. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, he does have really really nice penultimate songs, and then the last song will be like something really quiet, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And end me on that. I like that high note. End me on that high note.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. No, I get you.
mm,
Yeah. So my first experience with them, uh, the first song that I had heard from them was "Know the Moon," um,
oh yes,
which
oh
is
my
like
god,
obviously yeah everyone's heard of the "Know the Moon," but it actually wasn't it wasn't on "I Will Be My Own Hell." That
it was
song
on
was
like the
previously.
re-release kind of
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
so "Know the Moon" was the first time I had heard it. I saw it with the cover art. I forget what it's called, but it's like the picture of the dude and he's like smoking and he has like the thing
Oh
over his
yeah,
eyes
was
and
it
there's
like
like the upside down cross thing.
what
Um,
was it I will be dang because I have hella nug or
yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was that, and I think I was in like I don't know. I want to say I was maybe in like fifth or sixth grade. Like I was young and I didn't really like at that point I wasn't really like someone who was super into music.
hmm
Um,
I forgot how long ago that came out. That was like
yeah.
almost like a decade ago that came out.
Yeah, it's an older song.
Mm.
And I remember I was listening to it on my Kindle Fire
Mm.
in like the living room. And I
hmm
was like, I there's that like a little whistle in the beginning because I think I was just on
Yeah.
YouTube and that like happened to pop up and I was like, teen suicide, like that's weird, and you know, and I like clicked on it and I listened to it and I was like, oh, that's a pretty song. And then
Mm.
I remember like a couple of years later, I was same thing. I was probably on YouTube or something, and um, "Know the Moon" came up, but with the cover art for the album, and I was like, I feel like I recognize this title, and I
Mm.
clicked on it and I listened to it, and I was like, dude, holy shit! I've been trying to find this song for like 3 years, and then I went and listened to that album, and then it just spiraled down from there.
hmm
Um, but
Their
yeah,
the the rabbit hole music.
because I mean they put out so they have put out so much and they are continuing to put out so much.
Yeah, I know he's
um
trying to make an album. Like I on Twitter, because I follow him on Twitter.
his Twitter account's fucking
It's
hilarious.
hilarious.
It's
He's so
something
nice
special.
too. Like I asked him how I screenshotted the DMs. Like I directly DM'd him asking how a certain song was recorded, and he just told me it was crazy. He was really nice about it. I never got that from like an artist, or thought I
Mhm.
could get it from like a bigger artist and whatnot. But
Yeah.
what was I gonna say though? But yeah, they're he put up a video of like the new album, and it sounds really good. Like I guess one of them is already out, because I know I noticed in his list one of them's called "If It's Your Final Wish, I'll Make It Happen." That's already on Bandcamp. It's like a screamo type song. It's really good. Like the guitar is like sludgy and shit like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, he has an insane ass catalog. Even like going back, like I found out he had like other side projects, because as cringy as it sounds, in high school, I was very close to changing the Jolly Melancholy to Heroin Party for some reason. I thought that was a cool name at the time, and
Yeah,
everyone
now you
told me
look back at it and
no.
you're like, oh
Yeah,
Jesus, I'm glad that didn't
everyone's
happen.
like, yeah, and I looked up to see if that was a band, like already a band, like a with Jolly Melancholy, and like this band Heroin Party came up, and I was like, oh, what's this? And they had an album called like Summer Made Me Blue, Summer Made Me Sad, and I was like, this looks like something Teen Suicide will make, because it had like trees as the album cover.
Mhm.
And then I looked down and I saw Sam Rain. I'm like, oh shit! And then that's
Because
when I
they
found
did,
out.
yeah.
That's when I found out he has like 4 other side projects.
Yeah,
Like
he's
it's
put out
crazy.
a lot of music. under a lot of different monikers.
I remember that song on my first release, You Weren't at My Birthday Party Last Summer.
Mhm.
That song was originally going to be like it sounded a lot similar to there was one of the Sam Ray's side projects. I think it might have been his first. Was called Mad Dads,
Okay.
and there's a song called like 17 or something like that, and it had like a really cool like a Casio synth, like a like kind of like a vibe to it, and I was like, oh cool,
Okay.
and it kind of sounded like that, and I was like, nah. And then that's where it's a more of a punk song, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's crazy how much music this guy has. But what were you saying? Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say with him and teen suicide and everything that he's done as well is that I think one of the reasons why he's like why his music is so attractive in a lot of ways is that like he covers like a lot of genres, but it all
Mm-hmm.
like still feels very him, like
Mm-hmm.
um even just with on I Am My Own, how like there's garage rock songs in there's punk songs, there's Dead Cat, there's Know the
Mm-hmm.
Moon. Like it's there are so many, you get so many different emotions and so many different vibes from their music, but like they're I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how they're able to, but like every album that they've put out has, despite all those like different genres and inspirations and influences, still feels very, very cohesive,
Yep.
and it fits together like phenomenally. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I think that's one of the reasons why he's also gained so much respect over the years, is that like, he's put out, so many different projects under so many different things,
Mm-hmm.
but like no matter what, like if you're getting something from him, there's a really good chance that it will be like really well put together, even if it feels kind of like even if it feels very demo-y or like kind of like half-assed when you on your first listen or whatever, when you like
Mm-hmm.
really get into that, like some of those more like sort of untuned vocals or just raw emotion in that, like
Mm-hmm.
kind of hits you that much more like when you're really paying attention to it.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I completely agree. But
So
hmm?
if I was just gonna move on to the last
Okay.
thing, but if you had something else to say, you can go for it.
All I'm gonna say is his Ricky Eat Acid side project. It's fucking awesome. That's the last thing I had to say about that. I remember I always check back. He's releasing new music on there, which is fucking awesome. That's where a lot of my song title ideas come from. Like when you were asking earlier, like the
Mhm.
Ricky Eat Acid song titles, because those are like gorgeous kind of like song titles to me. Like
Mhm.
they hit my little songwriting itch, you know.
Yeah, they're always very poetic.
Mm,
So before we end, I want to give
mm,
you a chance to just talk about anything new that you have upcoming. Quick reminder for those who are watching, once again, the tapes for his recent album, For a Moment There, I Thought I Lost It All, are up for pre-order. They should be coming in a couple weeks, so make sure to grab those on the website. But with that being said, you are working on a new EP, and it has been finished
yes.
writing, correct?
Yes, that's correct. I'm very busy. I have the new EP. I'm trying to do because I made that post on Instagram on the Instagram band
The
page.
schedule for
Mm,
the years.
yep, which you can follow at the Jolly Melancholy. That's on Instagram, Twitter. I should plug the Twitter too. It's just the Jolly M. The name is I love mescaline because it's a
They'll
joke
be in the
because
description
masculine.
as
Yeah,
well, which will
not
make it
masculine,
easier.
mescaline.
I
It's
think
a
it was
mescaline joke.
mescaline, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. But um yeah, because I'll post updates on there and I just post funny shit on Twitter. Well, to me it's funny. But yeah, so I have a new EP. It's done writing. I'm in the recording process. We're gonna be recording new music. We're recording drum tracks like sometime next week. I'm really excited for that because we're the only songs I want to say that is going to be on it as kind of like a like here's what to expect is I'm redoing the very first song I ever made when I was back in high school, Black and White. I didn't like
Okay.
how it was recorded. It was recorded off a demo of FL Studios, and I did it in 4 hours because I lost everything. So I had to
Oh,
redo everything on like Christmas and Eve. It was crazy. It was a crazy time. But that's being re-recorded, and I really want to do a cover of Be Here in 3 a.m. by Adult Mom. I just feel like with that, the vibe of that song would really fit the album, because the album's going to be very like, it's going to be varied in styles. I have a few of them done at the recording stage. It's almost like, as weird as it sounds, White Stripes meets like Teen Suicide in a way, because I'm into White Stripes. Speaking of that, I have White Stripes covers that I'm working on. It's going to be a single with like 2 or 3 songs. So it's just a small little thing. And I'm re-releasing a rap hip hop song I made back when I was in high school, because I did rock, and then I went to rap for like a year or two, and then went back to rock, and I don't know why that happened. It just did. But,
it happened.
It just happens. And I'm re-recording one of the songs that I made back in back in those days. That's being recorded right now, and I'm doing a Car Seat Headrest album cover. It's been going on. It's like ongoing. I started it like last year. It's going to take a few years, because it's just a lot to put together. And learn, because Will Toledo has a weird, I don't know what it is about him, but he loves taking down guitar tabs for his songs. It's really weird, but that's it. That's all that's coming up. The EP is going to have some synthy kind of things to it, hard rock. Like it's gonna be really good. I can't wait to release it eventually. I'm hoping to release it on Bandcamp late this year, early next year. I have a lot of the ideas there. I just need to record drum tracks and some guitar tracks, and it'll be done.
Cool. Yeah. Do you know how many songs it'll be?
I actually have to cut some out. It's going to be 5 or 6. It's going to be an actual like EP, because the first 2 albums were supposed to be EPs, but Spotify, once you go over the 6 song mark, album right away. It could be 10 minutes long. Album.
Yeah.
So
do you have an idea of what it's called right now, or do you want to keep that under wraps?
I can say what it is right now. Since I'm at the recording stage, it's going to be called Witch Rituals.
Okay.
I originally wanted to try to get it released before Halloween with a different kind of aesthetic to it, but I started listening to the White Stripes, and that was it. Like I was like, I got to do hard rock kind of music. But yeah, Witch Rituals will hopefully be out late this year, early next year. Follow me on like Instagram and Twitter, and you'll get updates like whenever I get get around to it.
Okay. But, all right. Yeah. So then again, the tapes for the most recent album are up on our website. Look out for the new EP, hopefully within the next couple of months. Thank you for joining me on
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure. I think you had some of you had blackberries or blueberries?
I had blackberries.
Okay, you had
I had to look at them just to make sure.
I didn't touch my cookie yet, but I'll definitely eat that later. Thank you all for joining us and watching today. I think that's all. I think that's it. So I guess we'll see you guys in the next one.
All right. See you guys.
All right.